We're here in the International Space Station Flight Control Room here at the Johnson Space Center, and it's my privilege today to have European Space Agency astronaut Luca Parmitano joining us. Thank you so much for making the time with us this morning.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
So it's an exciting weekend. Even the tempo here in the flight control room is a little up. Everybody's getting ready, turning their focus for the departure and reentry of the ATV vehicle.
Well, as a Capcom, I find that this room is always exciting, but of course today there is a heightened sense of happening because of all the operations going on the station.
It's been a hallmark program for the European Space Agency. Can you tell us some of the highlights for the ATV from your standpoint?
Well, let's see. 5 absolutely flawless missions. I call the ATV the flagship of the International Space Station cargo fleet because it is the biggest. It's the one with the most cargo, and on the European western side of the station, it's the only one that is completely automated. And I like to remind how it launches from Kourou in French Guinea. It travels for little millions of miles or kilometers, and it docks with a precision of about 1 centimeter or half an inch, completely automated. It's a fantastic demonstration of technology, European technology. There is a lot of Italy in ATV, and as an Italian astronaut, I'm obviously very proud of it. So it's been a fantastic program, and it's been a little bit of sadness that I see it coming to a conclusion.
We can understand. One thing that I found fascinating is we all tend to think of ATV as just a cargo craft, but really it's capable of a lot more. And this ATV-5 especially has done a few more extra special things. Can you talk us through a little bit more about those capabilities?
Absolutely. First of all, the pressurized volume of the ATV is really big, is really nice. So basically, it becomes an extra module once it docks on the space station. And it's nice to have that stowage area, to have that. It's also very quiet, so it's a nice environment to be in. To start with. Also, because of its powerful engines and the way it docks to the aft part of the space station, it's been used several times through its 5 missions for PDEMS maneuvers. They are the avoidance maneuver in order to change the orbit of the space station in case there is any chance of a collision with one of those space debris or other things coming in. So that is a fantastic way to employ it. Also, because it brings cargo, but also fuel, water, all kinds of different gases. It's also a way to keep the station pressurized. It's a good source. It's a great source of resources. And then it's also obviously it's used to dispose of trash, which is an incredibly big problem on the space station. Getting rid of the trash. So the big volume of the ATV really helps in that sense.
Yeah, absolutely. That's probably something people don't think about so much is everything that we're bringing up. There's only so much room in the space station, and managing all of that stowage and getting rid of unneeded items is a big priority and a big logistical issue, so this is key for that.
It is, and I like to remind the ATV that when we see it compared to the space station, we don't get a sense of the size. But for people on the ground, I like to remind them it's as big as a double-decker from London, one of those big buses that are around. That's how big the ATV is. It's really a big spacecraft.
So you touched on this a little bit earlier in the interview, but can you talk to us a little bit about what this program has meant for ESA and the European countries, and especially you were talking before our interview about coming from Italy and what that means because they've had a role with ATV?
Well, certainly. First of all, ATV has been a very successful program, and it has given us an opportunity to cooperate with NASA and the other space agency and to be part of the International Space Station program. It has let us develop engines, navigation systems. Again, I reminded earlier how precise the navigation system is, and this will help us in the future with other spacecraft. The legacy of the ATV doesn't disappear with the conclusion of the program, because the evolution of the ATV will be the service module for Orion, the next great cooperation between the European Space Agency, Europe, and the United States and NASA. And so what we learned in these amazing years of using the spacecraft will be really come useful when we develop the new service module.
That's a very good point. As you said, this might be a little sad for some people who've supported ATV through all of these missions, but what a great testament to the capabilities that it's going to be part of Orion and continuing forward.
Absolutely, and um, again, this is a little bit comparable to what happened with the shuttle programs. The shuttle program, ATV, these are great programs. They helped us a lot during the years that we have employed them, but everything comes to an end, and it doesn't end there. It continues into the evolution of the program, and I think it's great that the evolution of both the shuttle program and ATV comes together in a common ground, which is the Orion program for to go beyond low Earth orbit. And I'm sure that the people at the different control centers are thinking about that right now as ATV 5 deorbits and comes to find his final resting place.
Absolutely. Well, that's something the teams here know as well. And like you said, it just leads to bigger and better things for future space exploration. Speaking of the control center, I'm assuming that you've been to the control center for ATV. And what do you think that they're doing today? And you've spoken a little bit about how they might be feeling, but any other words you want to add?
It's hard to say how they might be feeling. I remember how I felt when I let go of ATV-4 a year and a half ago. It was my privilege to be on board. I captured and let go of ATV-4 Albert Einstein, and it felt a little bit like letting go of a friend, because it was with us the whole 6 months of my permanence. He brought our food, our clothes. So for us, it was for me, it was a very special feeling. It was, I always tend to say that it brought up not only our food, our clothes, our experiment, but also all the dreams of the people that built the spacecraft, that put their work and their hours and all their passion into what they do. A little bit of that will be certainly today present in the ATV Control Center in Toulouse. But right now they're probably focusing on the myriad of operations that they need to do in order to deorbit the spacecraft correctly. Even though it's an automated vehicle, the man is always in the loop. They have to make sure that all the programs are working correctly, that the data they're receiving are the ones that are expected, that the path that the spacecraft is taking is according to the plan, and they will be sending command from time to time, allowing the spacecraft computers to go on to the next step.
Well, we will definitely be following along with all of those activities and, of course, covering that starting tomorrow on ESA TV. So congratulations to you and all of the European Space Agency team, and we'll be following along and looking forward to things yet to come.
Well, I think that right now we need to congratulate the crew on orbit that did a great job with the undocking, and certainly the European engineers and throughout the space agency that started this program and brought it to a successful conclusion. And thank you for having me here, and let me express my also congratulations to the teams in Europe.